So here we are in Max and we're ready to start the UV mapping. Now, if you watched the interior modeling techniques, you will know that all of these books in this scene, they're all instances of a same object. And that is very important because since they're all instances of a same object, we'll only have to do this process once. If you decide to have unique books, just keep in mind that you have to do this process one by one. But since they're all instances, I can choose whichever and I can just isolate them so that we have a better view, and then we can add the modifier. So I'm going to switch to the modify panel, scroll down and find unwrap UVW. So this is the mapping that we want. And once this modifier is applied, I can select 3 types of selection for the UVs, and I can open the UV editor. So for me to select, I have to choose one of these 3 modes. And on this window, I can see how this book is open now. If I select the polygon mode, I can see on the 3D which face is that I'm selecting. So you can see that whatever I select here, Max is going to show me on the 3D view. So this is very useful so you can see what it is that you're doing. So the first step here is to kind of open the whole thing because this is quite a mess right now. And it's always going to be a mess when it's an object that has a lot of extrusions. So get used to that. And we're going to just open the whole mapping so we can see all the pieces. So for that, I'm going to click, hold and drag and select everything. And then I'm going to mapping, flatten mapping. In here, I can leave these settings as they are, and I'm just going to click OK. So that is going to help me a lot because now I can see the different faces and it's kind of easier for us to work with. What you have to keep in mind is everything that needs to be applied to a texture has to be inside this square. You can move things around if you want to work with them, but in the end, all the mapping has to be in here. If you decide to leave anything outside of the square, what Max is going to do is that it will apply the texture, but it will be inverted. So this is very important. You don't want to leave to Max these type of decisions. You want to plan everything. So let's start the mapping of our book. So let's choose a few faces and start moving them around. First, I can see that I have a bottom face here, which is the back of my book. So this back of the book needs to be on this left side. And the front of the book, which is this face here, needs to be on the right side. So let's start with this. I'm going to select both of these faces. As you can see, are these 2 here. And I'm going to move them to the side. And now I'm going to switch to the edge mode. And I'm going to select just this edge here, which is exactly this one, as you can see. And right now, what I want to do is that I want to sew these 2 pieces together. So I'm going to select this, and Max is going to show me which piece should be attached. And I'm just going to stitch them together. For that, I'm going to use the Stitch Custom mode. If I use any of these other stitches, it's going to stitch, but it's going to distort the pieces. We don't want to distort the pieces. We just want them stitched together. So I'm going to click Stitch Custom, and there you go. So it's pretty simple. Right now I have all of these attached together. Now it's just a matter of selecting this one here, and you can see is this one here, and click stitch again. There you go. Now we have our book cover pretty much done. There are a few things we still need to adjust, but this is basically the process. So we need to attach the top and the bottom parts, which are these pieces here. And then we need to arrange the middle of the book. I'm going to stop here for now, and in our next clip, we're going to focus on these parts here. So I'll see you then.